miles per hour.
Notre entrevue avec Jean Steve qui nous parlait donc de la manière de disposer des cadavres de manière écologique. Vous avez adoré également. Vous avez plusieurs vous n'avez pas parlé de la relation. Effectivement, on devait en parler. On arrive, effectivement, c'est une technique relativement écologique. On reste longtemps dans le lumière, plusieurs heures. Écrivez-nous si vous voulez qu'on réinvite des gens. Écrivez-nous, vous avez lui, on l'aime, ou elle, on l'aime. C'est vous qui décidez du contenu ici de cette commission. Et donc, vous avez décidé des sujets de recherche de nos chroniqueuses, la personne de Jean-François Bernier. Bonsoir. Bonsoir, mathématicien devant l'Éternel et à 5 fois, c'est notre ami Chenot qui est là. Bonsoir, chercheur à l'Institut universitaire de cardiologie et de pneumologie. Bonsoir, Mathieu. Se transformer dans des dossiers mystères. Je ne sais pas si vous suiviez vous à TQS.
Non, mais Mathieu, je suis quand même reconnaissante qu'on m'a posé la question. C'était très agréable à faire.
Comment dire, normalement, vous n'êtes pas dans les dossiers mystères, vous êtes à Québec Science, mais non, vous êtes sorti un petit peu de votre zone de confort pour aller donc faire un tour du côté des mers du Sud. Tout ça et bien plus ici, le moteur de recherche.
Moteur de recherche, l'émission qui naît de vos questions.
Ben oui, il y avait dossier mystère Jean Coutu avec cette belle voix de
That's from like
une très belle voix également.
That was an original, motherfuckers.
En studio, mais on les entend bien, ces voix, on est très content de les savoir là. Et donc, on a eu une question.
It's 25 Celsius and overcast in Kinshasa.
C'est qui, qu'est-ce qui nous a envoyé ça?
88% humidity.
Qui est des grandes sceptiques qui nous envoie cette question. Allô, super gang de scientifiques. Est-ce qu'il existe des hypothèses qui pourraient expliquer le mystère du triangle des Bermudes? Je me demandais où c'était situé véritablement ce fameux triangle et si des disparitions étaient encore... Il faut aussi ne pas faire la distinction entre le triangle des Bermudes et le triangle des Bermudas, qui est un motif. Le triangle des Bermudes, c'est un lieu, c'est ce dont on va parler avec Marie Lambert-Savre. Bonsoir, Marie.
Bonsoir, Mathieu.
Bon, le légendaire triangle des Bermudes, où se
situe-t-il?
Eh bien, regardez une carte et tracez des liens entre la pointe sud de la Floride, Porto Rico et le petit archipel des Bermudes dans l'Atlantique et vous allez voir apparaître le fameux triangle qui, faut le dire, n'a aucune reconnaissance officielle, ni son nom, ni ses délimitations géographiques sont inscrites sur des cartes. Autrement dit, il n'existe seulement dans notre imaginaire collectif.
C'est un état d'esprit, le triangle des Bermudes.
Voilà, et c'est un état d'esprit dans lequel des journalistes autrefois ont bien voulu plonger. On doit le nom à Vincent Gaddis, qui était un écrivain et journaliste américain passionné d'énigmes et de phénomènes paranormaux, qui a publié un livre sur le sujet en 1964. Mais il faut dire que le mythe est né bien avant. Dès 1950, des journalistes commencent à s'intéresser aux disparitions inexpliquées de bateaux et d'avions dans la région, remontant assez loin, jusqu'au début du 19e siècle. Mais l'événement qui a servi de bougie d'allumage, c'est la célèbre escadrille 19. Je ne sais pas si vous connaissez l'histoire.
Oui, j'ai lu les livres inexpliqués à la bibliothèque municipale quand j'avais 12-13 ans. Oui.
Pour ceux qui ne l'auraient pas fait, le 5 décembre 1945, 5 avions torpilleurs de la marine américaine effectuent un vol d'entraînement au large de la Floride. Et quelques heures après le décollage, ils disparaissent sans laisser de traces. Et pour ajouter une couche au mystère, l'hydravion qui part à leur recherche explose en plein vol. Et donc, au fur et à mesure qu'on documente toutes ces disparitions louches, les thèses les plus loufoques émergent. Je pense que tout le monde ou presque les a déjà entendues. Enlèvement extraterrestre, portail vers une autre dimension, vortex, influence du continent perdu de l'Atlantide. Des meilleurs, j'en passe.
C'est épuisant.
Une estimation qui est souvent relayée affirme qu'en moyenne, 4 avions et 20 bateaux disparaissent dans cette zone chaque année. années. Mais je dois vous dire, en tout cas, je n'en ai pas trouvé aucune source officielle n'était ces chiffres. Et notre auditrice nous demandait est-ce qu'il y a encore des disparitions qui sont rapportées. Bien, la dernière remonte au 2 janvier dernier. Un bateau avec 20 passagers à bord qui circulait dans la région n'est jamais revenu à bon port. Après 3 jours de recherche, les gardes-côtes américains ont cessé de regarder. Ils sont revenus bredouilles.
Ouais, et là, Jean Coutu sort de ce corps. Quand on dit revenir bredouille, il y a plein de choses qui peuvent expliquer tout cela. Qu'est-ce qu'on peut dire scientifiquement, Marie, là-dessus? Qu'est-ce qui expliquerait pourquoi ces navires, ces avions manqueraient à l'appel de cette manière?
Mais il y a des hypothèses plus crédibles que celles que je viens de mentionner, mais je dois quand même vous dire à l'avance qu'aucune n'est particulièrement solide. Une d'elles, il s'agit du méthane, qui serait peut-être le grand coupable. C'est une idée que des médias, des scientifiques, une petite poignée de scientifiques ont commencé à faire circuler il y a quelques années. Donc, il faut savoir que dans les grands fonds marins, et ça c'est véridique, on retrouve pas mal d'hydrates de méthane. À première vue, on dirait des blocs de glace, mais en fait, il s'agit de solides cristallins qui sont formés d'eau et de gaz. Ils contiennent d'énormes quantités de méthane et on en trouve dans des endroits où les conditions de pression et de température se combinent pour les rendre stables. Par exemple, dans les sédiments subocéaniques des régions polaires ou encore dans les sédiments du talus continental. On en trouve aussi dans le pergélisol. Et certains estiment que le réchauffement des océans contribuerait à transformer la glace en gaz. Et il s'ensuivrait des explosions soudaines, très violentes, qui libéreraient le gaz vers la surface sous forme de bulles. Et donc, ça formerait une mousse qui diminuerait la densité de l'eau à tel point que les bateaux qui passent par là seraient incapables de naviguer et couleraient d'un coup. Et donc, les émissions de gaz pourraient même affecter l'atmosphère et créer des turbulences pour les avions. Mathieu, cette hypothèse porte le nom de flatulence océanique.
Bon, excusez-moi, là, c'est mon petit gars de 10 ans intérieur là, qui rit. Continuez.
Ça lui enlève un petit peu de lustre.
Oui, non, mais quand même, là, je veux dire, flatulence océanique, est-ce que c'est bien soutenu par la littérature, ça?
Pas vraiment. Depuis quelques années déjà, les scientifiques de l'Institut d'études géologiques des États-Unis s'emploient à démonter cette hypothèse qu'ils jugent très improbable. D'abord parce que lorsque les hydrates de gaz se dégradent, généralement, ils ne se décomposent pas de manière une pression extrême, par exemple à la suite d'un changement climatique dramatique. Ça, c'est la première condition. Et que la deuxième, que ça se produise dans une partie de l'océan où l'eau est peu profonde. Or, la dernière fois que toutes ces conditions ont été réunies dans la région du Triangle des Bermudes, c'était à la fin de la dernière ère glaciaire, il y a 11 700 ans.
Ouais.
Donc, et en fait, la plupart du méthane qui s'échappe des fonds marins, parce que ça arrive, est transformé par des microbes en dioxyde de carbone bien avant qu'ils n'atteignent la surface.
Mais il y a une chose, par exemple, qu'on a quand même lu, puis qui permettrait, en tout cas, peut-être, là, on met beaucoup de guillemets, d'expliquer des disparitions, peut-être pas simplement dans le triangle des Bermudes. C'est le fameux phénomène, Marie, des vagues scélérates. Est-ce que ça pourrait être un suspect numéro 1?
Ça se pourrait. Longtemps, on n'a pas cru à ces vagues. Donc, quand on dit vagues scélérates, ce sont des vagues immenses, imprévisibles et dangereuses. On calcule que toute vague dont la hauteur est au moins 2 fois plus grande que la hauteur moyenne des vagues alentours se qualifie de scélérates. Et leur force est telle qu'elles sont capables de briser des grands navires comme des fétus de paille. On l'a déjà vu. Et longtemps, comme je disais, ça fait partie du folklore maritime, mais leur existence est admise et documentée depuis les années 90. On a enregistré la première du genre le 1er janvier 1995 dans la mer du Nord où littéralement un mur d'eau de 26 mètres a surgi brusquement alors que la plupart des vagues alentour faisaient environ 11 mètres. Donc, le phénomène est réel. En 2018, l'océanographe Simon Boxall de l'Université de Southampton a participé à un documentaire où il a lancé cette hypothèse que les vagues scélérates seraient les responsables de tous ces accidents inexpliqués dans le triangle des Bermudes. Et avec son équipe, il a testé l'hypothèse dans un grand bassin où il a simulé des vagues scélérates qui prenaient d'assaut un modèle réduit du USS Cyclops. C'est un charbonnier de 165 mètres de long qui a disparu dans le triangle des Bermudes en 1918. Et les vagues simulées ont réussi à briser et à couler la maquette en quelques minutes. La démonstration est en effet étonnante, mais il y a plusieurs problèmes. À commencer par le fait que les vagues scélérates, de 1, ne s'attaquent pas aux avions, et de 2, elles ne sont pas plus nombreuses dans cette région qu'ailleurs sur le globe. Donc, Ouais.
Ouais, c'est ça. On est avec des gros ouais dans dans ces tentatives d'explication-là. Mais dans le fond, là, est-ce qu'il ne faut pas simplement s'en remettre à souvent la manière plate dont on a d'expliquer ces choses-là? C'est-à-dire que c'est parce qu'on a trouvé des occurrences, puis on a essayé de construire une légende autour de ça, puis ce n'est que ça, finalement. C'est qu'une légende.
Tout à fait. Donc, qu'on soit en océanographie, en météorologie, en transport, tous les experts s'entendent pour dire que ces disparitions attribuées à des supposées forces naturelles, mais ce n'est que la combinaison mortelle de 1, des mauvaises conditions météo, de 2, de la négligence, de 3, des erreurs humaines. 2 exemples, Mathieu, très simples. Revenons à l'escadrille 19. Le lieutenant Charles Taylor, qui dirigeait la formation, était réputé pour se perdre en vol. Et avant le départ, il y a eu une enquête après coup, et avant le départ, on a rapporté qu'il y avait déjà un comportement erratique. Et si le temps était beau au décollage, mais une tempête tropicale s'est déclarée par la suite, et l'enquête a conclu que les avions se sont probablement perdus et ont manqué de carburant. Et c'était des appareils qui étaient connus pour couler en moins d'1 minute. Et quant à l'hydravion secours qui explosait en plein vol, il était aussi connu pour être dangereux et peu fiable. Donc, vous voyez déjà un peu le portrait qui se dessine. Un autre exemple, c'est celui du SS Cotopaxi, qui a disparu en 1925 près du fameux triangle. Et lui a été retrouvé. Donc, il y a beaucoup de disparitions inexpliquées, mais celui-là a été retrouvé. On a formellement identifié l'épave presque un siècle plus tard, l'année dernière, en février 2020. Et les fouilles sous-marines ont confirmé les informations qui ont été exhumées d'archives, c'est-à-dire que la compagnie propriétaire du Cotopaxi subissait une forte pression financière et n'a pas entretenu correctement le bateau. Donc, le jour maudit, il a quitté le port mal équipé, délabré. Une tempête s'est levée, un signal de détresse a été envoyé, mais il était trop tard. Et vous savez, Mathieu, le bateau dont on parlait qui est disparu le 2 janvier dernier, ça reste un événement tragique, mais c'est pas remarquable en soi. Les disparitions en haute mer, que ce soit dans cette zone de l'Atlantique ou ailleurs, c'est courant. Et d'ailleurs, les compagnies d'assurance et même l'Agence américaine d'observation océanique et atmosphérique sont catégoriques à ce sujet. Les disparitions ne sont pas plus fréquentes dans le triangle des Bermudes qu'ailleurs sur la planète.
Ben voilà. Et on va se laisser là-dessus. Des fois, Marie, hein, c'est ça, c'est que la réalité est juste plate. C'est ennuyant, c'est banal, puis ça fait des moins bonnes légendes, cela dit, mais c'est ça, la réalité. Dixit qui, Marie Lambert-Cham, rédactrice en chef du magazine Québec Science. Merci beaucoup, Marie, pour ces... C'était du beau plat, par exemple, je dois vous dire.
Ah, vous êtes gentil.
Merci, Marie.
Moteur de recherche, l'émission qui répond à vos questions en techno, sciences, santé et consommation.
Et les maths, ça c'est plate. C'est plate. Ah, une chance qu'on a Jean-François Gagnon pour nous égayer ça. Bonsoir, Jean-François.
Bonsoir, Mathieu.
Prof de mathématiques au Cégep Montmorency. Donc, chroniqueur ici à l'émission. On va répondre à la question de Jean-Philippe Martin qui dit « J'ai passé la nuit du 3 au 4 novembre au soir à me demander, donc c'était l'élection américaine, comment les grandes chaînes peuvent faire pour baser leurs prédictions pour chaque État lors de la soirée électorale. Ce sont des algorithmes, des mathématiciens qui travaillent toute la nuit avec leur calculatrice. Surtout comme... J'aime beaucoup l'image. Mais surtout, comment déterminer le seuil de probabilité acceptable pour faire une prédiction raisonnable en temps d'élection. Jean-François, ça vous a passionné cette question-là?
Bien, certainement, puis ma réponse va être un peu narrative. Je veux dire, on se transporte dans un salon de la rue Légaré à Laval.
Oh, je savais bien.
J'ai 7 ans, assis devant la télévision, il est tard. Bernard de Rome.
A still have wind chill of minus 15 early Thursday. It's going to be a sunny start with increasing cloud and a high of 2. Thursday night into Friday morning, 5 centimeters of wet snow. That amount could go up, but we will start mixing in some rain through Friday afternoon. Temperatures falling with gusty winds will be 3 degrees, falling to -4, wind chill -12, and that means any wet surfaces do have the potential to ice over late Friday if they're untreated. Overnight tonight down to a low of -7, wind chill -16.
In downtown Toronto, we have a partly cloudy sky and a wind chill reading of -5.
Coming up the bottom of the hour, changing the response to mental health calls approved at today's City Council meeting, while the project will begin to be implemented next year. And Quebec's premier today announcing a loosening of some COVID restrictions, including the reopening of businesses, museums, and hair salons. The latest straight ahead.
Humans are the most advanced species on Earth. We've conquered fire.
Really?
Created powerful
Because the mice are doing better than us.
And yet, we're still stuck paying for food.
So what they do is now, it's not your religion, or you think that the earth goes around the sun, or mathematics, or speaking a language, whether it's a foreign one or a native one. It's interesting flip-flop in history. It's mental illness, so it's not your fault. We're going to help you because we say you're sick, but it's not your fault, so you'll acquiesce and go along with it.
You could win tickets to
And they still get to
Chinese New Year
to
virtually.
think of
at the
themselves as
32nd
somehow being
annual
healthier
P.O.
and
Dragon
not
Ball.
defective,
Enjoy
and
a
therefore
fantastic
having
evening of
better
fun cuisine,
genes
a cooking
than
demonstration by
higher
master
bread.
chefs, and spectacular
Still,
entertainment.
but the actual meaning of the word hybrid, they don't want to admit. There's mixing blood, so
Flash
they're hybrid
contests.
bigger.
This is 680 News. Actor Hal Holbrook has died at the age of 95.
Hal Holbrook was deep throat in All the President's
What?
Men, telling a reporter to follow the money. He was the widower who befriends Christopher McCandless in Into the Wild.
Oh, no, so this is what the movies I don't want to watch.
Si on observe quelque chose qui est plus rare que le risque d'erreur qu'on s'est donné, on va
Elevates for the jump over Paynes, missed that one.
Oddly enough, the facilities, the technology, or whatever that's being used in the new Novavax deal, which is an American company, by the way, is the old CanSino facility. So, again, a lot of time has been wasted here, and the Prime Minister owns that. It's no sense buying a great portfolio if you don't have the license to make them here, and that's what the UK did.
Yeah, I mean, it's just dumbfounding, confounding to me, Peter, that, you know, in all the months that they had to get ready for this, no one in his office said, you know, we probably should get a plan B, because there's a facility right beside this government building that they're saying that they're going to build, that with 2 to 3 months of retrofitting, they said in December they could start producing vaccines, that we'd be up 2 million doses a month for 2021, and they didn't bother.
Trudeau didn't care. And Trudeau didn't care because Trudeau does what Trudeau wants. And when he gets caught, as he has so many times on so many levels, he looks at the camera and he lies to you. And unfortunately, there are too many people who believe him, especially here in central Ontario, and are ready to vote him in. And unfortunately, I have to say, at this point, Aaron O'Toole is not giving him a run for his money. So if there were an election held today, and he knows that, that's why he's pushing for one, he'd get...
Fire all your guns at once, eh? We started this.
See Global Money Transfer.
Three trials, and it's got a vaccine that's very much like Moderna, an mRNA, messenger RNA vaccine, 2 shots. Doesn't have to be refrigerated beyond the normal refrigerator. All of that stuff was available, but no, Justin had to go to China because he likes dealing with brutal dictatorships that hold their citizens. I don't for the life of me understand it. I don't for the life of me understand why he is supported. He's basically a bad guy.
Really, Justin? We had no idea.
Well, because there's a lot of dumb women, frankly, who still eat what he sells them. Ladies, he lies. He's not even a bad boy. He's just a dumb boy, so stop buying what he sells you. It's just crazy to me that women still support this fruit.
Oh, so bad boys one step above dumb.
He was asked, you know, some pretty straightforward questions today when he was asked, okay, so are we going to get shipments from Moderna as well as Pfizer? And he says, yeah, they told me so. Here's his answer.
And the assurances that I've received, the assurances that this government has received, is that these transparency measures will not interfere with shipments destined for Canada.
You have that in writing?
International affairs and agreements.
He really struggled to get that answer, Scott. Like, that was a good, nice 3-second, like, oh my God, what am I going to say? He didn't get it right.
You know, and here's something that all reporters should remember. Get to the point. Ask the question. We don't need 5 minutes of preamble before you get to the question. It gives them too much time to think. This was right across the plate at him, and he was completely stunned. And his answer was something to the effect of, it's not a small claims court. What the heck does that mean? I mean, my goodness. What is it? And again, at a time when your word isn't mattering much in the COVID-19 world, a basic question to any first-year law student would be, should it be in writing? Of course. I mean, this is just, it was just a terrible answer. And again, I think finally we've got to the truth of this story. People have been saying since prior to Christmas, it's the provinces, it's distribution, it's going to be approval. It's got nothing to do with approval. It's got nothing to do with distribution. We do not have supply and we don't make it. And that's why we are where we are. And we had a chance to do it back in the spring. And if we had, where would we be by now?
No deal
is better than a bad deal.
Baloney. Nonetheless, Peter, I mean, he should have known the question was coming because his minister, Mary Ng, was asked this question yesterday. Did you get it in writing? And they were all asked yesterday, did you get these agreements in writing? And they didn't answer the question. So he knew the question was coming. He still doesn't know the answer.
Aside from everything else, he's got lousy briefers because they're supposed to keep him up on everything that's possible. He's supposed to be reading all of the
Governor General's
answers that he has to give to these questions before he ever goes out and stands at that microphone. He's the Prime Minister of freaking Canada. I lived at Queen's Park.
He should be able to answer on his own.
He should be, but he's not. And the bottom line, I spent enough time inside those walls to know that everything is written down, and it's written down to the nth degree. And if you think that Queen's Park is something, try looking at Ottawa. The idea, the very suggestion that, international affairs are not conducted that way. Everything is a nudge and a wink, and we're just fine. I mean, he didn't say that, but he implied it. We don't need anything in writing. We have the promise. We didn't have a promise. I think the bottom line, and it's going to come out ultimately, is that these 7 different vaccines that he, quote, ordered, unquote, were verbal commitments that he made. And now the reason that he's looking so bad is because he hasn't got anything to hold in his hand, show to a camera, hand to a reporter, talk to you about, or whoever it happens to be, that tells us that there was a deal, it was firm, and this is what was coming. And that's why we're getting the dribs and drabs and the nonsense out of every company that's there to deal with us.
Yeah, well, the ladies might eat up what he says, fall for every word, but clearly the EU leaders do not, and he should learn that. All right, when we come back, we will get into our round 2 of Global Talkers. We'll talk about the fact that you can not fly anywhere out of Canada, but you can certainly get around in a whole bunch of loopholes. And we'll talk about why China is now mad at us again. It has to do with a T-shirt. Such a sensitive bench they are, so we'll do that next. Stay with us. Alex Pearson on point, and this is Global News Radio.
Every day, Canadians are buying homes and getting the wrong mortgage rates. Important announcement. If you have a home mortgage closing in the next 90, 30...
Get a great furnace deal now.
Le modèle de Monsieur Gicot.
It's 10-10. I couldn't pick that up the other day.
Stop. It closed below $100. Surprise move from Amazon. Jeff Bezos stepping down as CEO to become the executive chairman of the retailer business. 56.
680 news time, 7:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the
Who's not going to Tibet to become a monk?
Caitlin and Scott, this report
You're just taking an easier drive.
And right now, the drive is a really good one across the GTA. I'm not seeing any slowdowns or issues to tell you about, so we're up to speed pretty much anywhere you go across the major routes in the GTA. 401 looking great right now. So is the Don Valley and the Gardner. QEW also in pretty good shape. And not much to tell you about on city streets. Just keep in mind, steals both ways. Some traffic light timing issues at Islington, so that could cause some delays. Tuesday on BT, how online tutoring can help kids missing classroom structure. Plus a freestyle rapper that's uniquely using his talent to create a change. Watch BT weekdays at 6 a.m. on City TV with the forecast. Here's Natasha Ramsahide.
Skies clearing tonight. In fact, no precipitation.
You think the green light's not long enough there for the lights broken?
The north-northwest will be on the gusty side tonight and tomorrow. It'll make our morning temperature of -7 feel like -16, and it's going to be a sunny Wednesday with a high of 1 degree, wind chill of -5. Overnight tonight, down below -7 degrees.
Downtown Toronto right now, we've got a partly cloudy sky, -2, feeling like -9. 680 news time, 7:32.
It's something they hope will make a critical difference. City Council giving the thumbs up to a plan that would see crisis teams respond instead of police to mental health calls.
680's Momin Qureshi with the details.
Military
I
says
would never send a crisis nurse into a crisis
to mental health
situation.
calls are handled. These pilot programs.
technologies, and yet
pilot program. You were considering defunding the police.
Not anymore. With good food, you can get delicious, ready-to-cook meals. $1 billion
for items like $10 billion
popcorn and
VST to the feds every year.
Good food. Eating
$11 million right
Visit
there.
makegoodfood.ca. With minimum purchase. Details on makegoodfood.ca.
I'm Clarice. Are you famous? Sort of.
The silence is finally over.
You are a woman with a very public reputation for hunting monsters.
I can't have a reputation. I've only done it once.
Based on The Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris.
There's a lot of things you can do to get you once, to get you a reputation.
I want to see if it can be sped up.
Killer, a thief,
680 News Time, 7:33. Ontario reporting its first day under 1,000 new COVID-19 cases in about 2 months. But it comes with an asterisk. The province reporting 745 new cases of the virus today. But it does not include data from Toronto as the city migrates its information to the provincial database. On the vaccine front, Premier Ford is frustrated over the lack of available vaccines, saying the uncertainty is a real problem. General Rick Hillier, the head of the vaccine task force in Ontario, is in a vaccine drought. And when it comes to the Pfizer shot, they've lost confidence in the supply chain.
We were leaning forward and using some of the second doses to get to some of those residents in long-term care homes without making sure we had one for each person we had given a needle to already in our inventory.
Premier Ford looking at a Made in Ontario solution, saying he wished we could produce vaccines from the start of the pandemic. The province will not be able to give all nursing home residents the first dose of the vaccine by this Friday, as originally promised. Instead, that's been delayed until February the 10th.
Canada's top doctor has warned that the provinces against easing public health measures too quickly, but it appears Quebec's premier is doing just that. 680's Phil Martino joins us live with those details. Phil?
Scott, if you live in Quebec, you'll be able to get your hair cut again. Premier Francois Legault says with the number of new COVID-19 cases trending down, stores, museums, and hairdressers province-wide will be allowed to open again on Monday. Now, the ban on visiting others in their homes remains in effect, as does the mandatory work-from-home order for those who are able, and the curfew will stay in effect. Legault says, unfortunately, the fight is not over, and they think the curfew is a very efficient way to prevent indoor gatherings, especially among people 65 years and older. Now, 6 rural regions in the province will be allowed to push the curfew back to 9:30 p.m. and reopen restaurants, gyms, movie theaters, and some indoor activities. On the weekend, Canada's top doctor warned provinces against easing stringent public health measures. Dr. Theresa Tam said that even though daily cases are trending down, it's still too soon to lift lockdowns and ease other protective measures if the country hopes to bring the pandemic under control. Phil Martino, 680 News.
680 News Time, 7:36. The Prime Minister announcing a new deal to get COVID vaccines made in Canada, but it won't happen anytime soon.
And it's regular COVID. I'm not planning to do that. But if you're going to make it fair, make it fair. Not only that, if I wanted to go or Scott wanted to go, maybe we should all go. We should go to Barbados. We just fly to Miami, get on a flight to Barbados, and we're there. And then we come back and pay the $2,000. Or maybe we go back to the States and drive home in my car. I'm just saying, I'm not suggesting we skirt the law. I'm not suggesting we do illegal things. I'm not suggesting we do dumb things. I'm saying that the way this has been presented by the Canadian government doesn't make any sense to me. And when you talk about you come back and you take a test, why can't it be a rapid test where I spit in a test tube and in 15 minutes they tell me if I have COVID or not?
Exactly. It's kind of like the vaccines, Scott. It's just everything we do wrong.
Yeah, well, you know, it's done after the horse has left the barn. By the way, let's get some tests and load up Peter's car and head down to FLA.
Road trip.
We'll ram the gate doing 98. Everything, Peter's got an interesting aspect into it, and that being the snowbirds and what's their situation when they return home in April or May or what have you. I think this was designed to try to cap the March break. Spiriters, we know exactly what happened with the travel over the holiday break. Same thing in the surge that followed, the post-holiday break surge. I don't think they wanted that to happen. Should it have all been done sooner? Of course. I'm being told I got to sit in my house and can't do whatever, and yet people are flying around. I mean, come on. Now, with the latest restrictions that have come in, it's still pretty difficult to go to and fro. I mean, if you want to take the chance and take a trip to wherever and fly out of wherever to get to your final destination, and then the issues with the quarantine and proving that you've been tested, and then coming back and doing the $2,000 hotel stay, those people aren't going. They're staying home. Snowbirds, people with properties, people who have vested interest in being down there, will get there. And, I don't think the concern is them, because they'll be vaccinated either way. It's the people that are traveling to and fro, and I think they pretty much put an end to that. Now, I wonder how many people are buzzing in now under the deadline or after the deadline when they say not everything's in place. I can imagine it's quite busy.
It goes even beyond that, though. Like I said, if you take a look at what they're trying to do, piecemeal, and this had been planned, and they sat down and designed it, and they went ahead with it, and we didn't have some, pardon me, jackass like Dr. Tam saying, oh, you can't do that because it's racist, and we'd done it a year ago, we wouldn't be in this soup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I know. No, they had to play identity politics. It was all about scoring political points, and a lot of them. And they know who they are, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves. Meanwhile, the Chinese government is mad at us again. This time because a Canadian diplomat ordered hip-hop-inspired T-shirts emblazoned with a bat-like image around the words Wuhan. And it's a play on this iconic emblem of Wu-Tang Clan. This is a New York rap group that defined the sound in the 90s. The logo's design evokes a pair of wings, but does not actually depict a bat. It's just a stylized W. But the order was for 8 T-shirts back in May of 2022, and it was for the team who were on the ground in Wuhan in those early days of the pandemic. They were actually trying to help evacuate Canadian citizens, and they were calling themselves the Wuhan Clan. So, Scott, apparently China is very angry about this. How long do you think it takes for us to apologize?
That's not what they're angry about, I'll tell you.
What's funny here is not funny there, and, you just have to accept that when you're on their soil. All we have to say is the two Michaels and look where they are for no reason whatsoever. So, I'm not going to sit here and try to debate why the Chinese Communist Party does what it does or puts restrictions on people for what they do. We are where we are in the situation in Canada with the vaccines we were just talking about. I mean, it all centers around relationships or lack thereof with China. The once golden goose is now the coyote in the chicken coop. So, I don't think any of us can be surprised by this.
Well, no, but I'm on Canadian soil, so I can get one of these T-shirts. So send one over.
And you know what? If they're upset, so be it. Who cares? Give us the two Michaels back. Come on. Let's move on.
Absolutely. This is a brutal communist dictatorship. I don't know what they did that caused COVID-19, but I'm not suggesting there are any conspiracy theories behind what I'm saying. It got out of China. Some people like to call it the Wuhan flu.
We call it the South African variant. We call it the UK variant. We call it the Brazilian variant. Was that racist?
Yes. This is a country.
Incredibly racist.
This is not a country that plays by the rules of the world. It's not a country that we owe any respect. I'm not being racist. I have no problem with Chinese people.
They're the majority of the world.
To do whatever they want. I wish whoever had done this had done 80,000 of these things.
Traces his bloodline back to the Celts and Welsh,
look like a bat.
We can still make them. The design is there.
You start talking about it, these guys start talking about bloodlines that don't exist. You realize they're talking about fucking their own cousins.
Donate all the money to the Uyghurs and the two Michaels and
human meat, horse meat,
raise attention on those two issues. All right, guys. Go ahead.
Sorry, joking aside with all of this, but, hopefully now people have realized this for what it is 1 year in our government response to it, and it's time to recognize that in the media in Canada.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that so much damage has been done that didn't need to be done. That is the price we are going to pay and are paying is just so mind-boggling. Nonetheless, I have a naked man on the other side of this break who's waiting to speak to me because February 5 is Work Naked Day. So, gentlemen, you can join the movement.
Look for us all.
Yes.
on a Zoom call near you.
Zoomer. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll chat again.
Ciao.
That is Scott Thompson, who you can listen to on our sister station, CHML 900 AM, CHML. 900 CHML. Yeah, I worked there for a bunch of years. And of course, that is 12 to 3. I'll get it right, 12 to 3. And of course, as you heard, Mr. Peter Sherman will be covering off mornings next week, I think is what he said. So when we come back, we will talk about Naked Work Day. It is a thing, it is real, and we'll have a gentleman explain how it works, or does it work? That's next. Stay with us here. I'm Alex Pearson. Will not be working naked.
You're in your
If it helps read, they'll win. But we'll do that on the other side of this break. Here on Point on Global News Radio.
They're claiming to have named their Wu-Hang Clan after Wu-Tang Clan. That's a New York hip-hop thing. Here's the problem. Wu-Tang refers to kung fu movies out of Hong Kong in the 80s and 90s. Oh, yeah, this goes way back. Hong Kong, not the People's Republic of China. Before Tiananmen Square, before the handover, the end of the 99-year 1 pound lease of Hong Kong to the British ended, and before their total opening up policy really kicked into gear. I'm not even sure when officially they started that. Those rappers have openly said they were inspired by those movies. So they weren't disrespecting China by calling themselves Wu-Tang Clan. You referring to the name of a different place, which is in a different country, technically. Oh, we named it after you. No, you didn't. You're fucking stupid if you did.
McDonald's chicken you crave.
All we have to do is say, give us back your 2 Michaels. No, they broke the fucking law in China.
Seasoned chicken. Just $2.99 plus tax until 11 a.m. At participating restaurants, prices exclude delivery.
As it happens, you go somewhere else and break the law. We go to court and beat our cases and everything else and get out and do whatever the fuck we want. You guys seem to think pulling diplomatic strings is normal just because you're white.
-9, partly cloudy. Good evening. I'm Caitlin Lee.
I'm Scott Burnett. Here are the top stories right now.
City Council has given the green light to a pilot project that will change how mental health calls are handled in this city. They'll be sending crisis teams instead of police. The Prime Minister says the feds.
How about the guy you shot outside New York
maker Novavax to have the shot produced in Montreal.
20 feet away and he had
scissors. Will out to be administered until the end of the year. And Amazon founder Jeff Bezos stepping down as CEO later in 2021. Your business report coming up at 56. Now time for 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. And here is Brent.
Monica did, and that's how she found Lamont.
Donc, évidemment, il y a des développements technologiques qu'on doit faire à l'interne, puis s'assurer qu'on amène ça à bon port. Notre firme a développé d'abord la technologie en laboratoire, puis par la suite l'a amené au stade du bench, qu'on appelle en anglais. Hein, et par la suite, on a financé un projet pour construire cette usine pilote. C'est un projet de 12 millions. Qu'on a bâti à Anjou. Et puis, la prochaine étape prévue pour mi-2022-2023, c'est l'usine commerciale qu'on va construire ici au Québec.
Bien, écoutez, ce sera à suivre ces développements-là, parce que je suis persuadé que ça intéresse bien les gens qui nous écoutent, parce qu'ils se disent aussi, on veut que ces autos-là, en fin de vie, en tout le moins ces batteries-là, puissent avoir une seconde vie.
Store with same-day delivery. We're like Amazon, but created just for builders.
Pour ces éclaircissements, je rappelle que vous êtes responsable du développement des affaires chez Recyclage Lithium. Merci beaucoup pour cette entrevue.
Ça fait plaisir, bonne soirée.
Au revoir. Et à 20h30, après aujourd'hui l'histoire à On dira ce qu'on voudra, on va joindre Rebecca McConnell. Bonsoir Rebecca.
Bonsoir Mathieu.
Vous avez parlé de chansons ce soir avec Mary Gold.
Oui, exactement, Mary Gold qui lance un EP cette semaine. C'est vraiment la mode, hein, les EP, les mini-albums de plus en plus chez les musiciens. Donc voilà, nouvel album pour la rappeuse. Et aussi, on va parler des nouvelles formes de violence dans les jeux vidéo. Je soupire un peu parce que c'est Harold Beaulieu lui-même qui nous a proposé le sujet en se disant « Je comprends pas pourquoi j'ai envie de parler de ça. » Ça me fait...
To be safe on the looking for, or if you haven't thought about it that much, we'll handcraft the perfect engagement ring for that perfect purpose.
So the Black History Month stuff will be at this point of the hour, won't it?
7:47.
Two Toronto police officers recovering after they were attacked.
Now, back to On Point with...
Come on, do your thing. Come on. It's pathetic how obvious and predictable you fucking idiots are. Yep. 8 seconds plus 8 seconds plus 8 seconds plus 8 seconds plus 8 seconds. What do you think a VPN protects you? Are you just located in the middle of fucking nowhere in this world? Holy fuck, what the fuck is going on here?
Held off on classifying the military's weekend roundup that way. Republican leader Mitch McConnell says now is the time for an American response.
It's an area where we, on a bipartisan basis,
Exceptions to the travel restrictions will be made on passionate grounds, but Trudeau told reporters
It's
today
so
that
predictable. I'm not even looking at the screen. You do this stuff to try to bother me, but you do it when I'm not even looking. Here's the deal. I was going to put on the other station. Here, 4 fucking minutes, 5 minutes.
Through this pandemic, and unfortunately, with these new measures, there will be more difficult situations, and our hearts go out to people.
Realize this. There's actually quite a little naturist movement in Ontario. There's actually a lot of people who do like to not wear clothing.
Please keep it up. Every time you think of look good, just like I do.
Being a naturist or you don't have to join anything. You don't have to have a card.
All child
you can just do it. So how many there are?
Anybody that would victimize an elder
What we know is that we've heard not just from naturists and nudists. A lot of people, because they're working from home, are working with.
In 2.5 minutes, we'll hear the same thing again. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. At least at a certain time of the hour, like these other idiots are. Come on, hurry up. Jam it up. Come on. You're pathetic. You're pathetic. You're pathetic. If you can't do it, you're not a hacker. So I don't know why you're wasting your time bothering us for it. So yeah,
7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, you come on,
The
keep
air
it up,
quality
keep it up.
forecast
Oh, he's
for
opening
Wednesday.
his mouth.
Orange
Start,
County.
tap that screen, tap it, smash it, smash it, smash
Air
it. Over
quality
and over. Come on,
primary pollution
come on. You should see this
of
stuff.
small particulate.
Come on,
This is NOAA weather.
come on. Rat trap. You're mad. You're getting mad. Port.
This program
It's not been
originated
8
from
straight
National Weather
minutes, bro.
Service in Raleigh.
It's been 8 minutes.
Transmitted from an antenna located on the UNCTV tower near Chapel Hill. The station serves the Northeast Piedmont. Here is the latest weather synopsis. A strong upper-level low over the mid-Atlantic coast will drift slowly northeast of New England through Wednesday. High pressure will settle over the southeast states on Wednesday and Thursday. This time will move off toward Thursday as a cold front approaches from the west.
We're on the
This is all right United States weather for Friday.
so we got the
Here is
She
the
just said
latest
back
weather
side,
forecast
northeastern,
for Raleigh and
east
vicinity.
coast in the same part of the city. Oh, report. We'll hit that report
Coastal
button.
flows in the upper
It's like when you hit block on Facebook.
northwest
We can
winds
still
10
see
to
you.
15 miles per hour with gusts up to 30 miles per hour.
Did you ever stupid thing to say
Wednesday,
about it?
sunny. Highs in the upper 40s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Wednesday night, clear. Cold lows in the mid-20s.
So we're gonna stop the hour.
North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour.
Oh, how are you doing this to the
Thursday,
Wi-Fi?
partly sunny. Highs in the lower 50s. West winds around 5 miles per hour.
Why is it
Becoming
highlighted?
southwest in the afternoon. If
Thursday night, cloudy. Not as cool as
Oh, that's not suspect, dude.
winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, rain likely.
Come on, 8 seconds, 8 seconds, 8 seconds, 8 seconds. Come on.
Chance of rain 70%. Friday night, partly cloudy.
There's 4 1.2 gigahertz processors on this shit.
Mostly sunny.
It's not the box being
Upper
slow.
40s. Saturday night and Sunday,
There's
partly cloudy.
1 or 2 gigabytes of
Lows in the
RAM.
mid-30s.
The graphics processor. Yeah, everything's separate. So there's no way it's the box itself. Keep it up. Keep it up. Come on.
Lows in the mid-20s.
Come on.
Highs in the
Come on.
mid-40s.
Come on. Come on, pedophile. Get in the rat trap, pedophile. Come on.
Upper 40s.
Jesus Christ.
0 to 7 p.m.
With 10 fucking minutes. Wow. You've completely upset my routine. I've never seen stalkers as stupid as this. You're gonna march the streets proud, screaming about pedophilia being the right? That's what you're doing, right? Well, you keep getting doxxed and logged and shit here. So the only question is, which YouTube admin is the child pornographer? Nothing stupid, figure this out, right? What is the common element that keeps, keep it up. He opened his mouth, do it now, touch it like a kid's asshole. Come on, keep it up, 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 keep it up. There is literally nothing that the computer is being asked to do right now, except you dumping on the fucking router.
I'm just dealing with my boys and
Keep it
I
up.
get it so woke, so woke, so woke. I'm just dealing with my boys and I get it so woke, so woke, so woke. I'm just dealing with my boys and I get it so woke, so woke, so woke. I'm just dealing with my boys and I get it so woke, so woke, so woke.
And every time I say that, yes, people do get harassed and stalked on the internet, sure, bam, 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 bam. And we know it's different idiots over and over because they keep getting the exact same response. We don't give a shit, and you're being doxxed, not us. So standing up screaming, I'm going to fight for the rights of pedophiles, you're a retard. Using cut and paste code you found somewhere on a fucking dark web message board.
I'm just dealing with my boys and I get it so woke.
And we know YouTube has bad people working for them. We know it, because there's kiddie porn on their service. We know it, so how the fuck are you gonna pretend when it's within seconds of me hitting this website?
I'm just dealing with my boys and I get it so
That's the only part I can't do anything about. So. No, if it were me, I would erase your accounts or send private messages to the police or something from your account or something. I would do something like that. You idiots. You don't accomplish anything. Well, I'm about to light the joint and we're near the top of the hour. Let's see if all hell breaks loose.
I'm just dealing with my boys and I get it so woke, so woke.
Even the browser doesn't crash. One of the steps we go through to start this up, there's about a dozen steps for something to go wrong for some reason. It should be 2 steps. We have to double check every fucking device we use. Yeah, we do that so we know what is and isn't happening. As soon as it connects to YouTube, that's when the browser crashes. Magically, the company that made the operating system, the browser, the website, the server, all that. But your motivation's not your kinship with pedophiles. Bullshit. You're a NAMBLA member, motherfucker. We know what you are. And when it comes to the idiots in person, it's the same bunch of fucking child molesters from the fucking 80s. Me and the kids I knew were always surrounded by adults. Always. And these fucking weirdos fucking hated that. When they start seeing us hanging out on the corner, they start trying to talk us out of joining a gang. Oh, and I'm not supposed to hang out with niggers. I'm just not supposed to. Yeah, white supremacy's got a huge fucking run of sexual deviancy in it. They're all fucking inbred. How the fuck did that happen if you're not deviant? Always saying bad things about rapists. He's saying bad things about rapists. Yep, and I'm gonna always say bad things about rapists.
I'm just dealing with my poison ivy, it's so woke, so woke, so woke. I'm just dealing with my poison ivy, it's so woke, so woke, so woke. I'm just dealing with my poison ivy, it's so woke, so woke, so woke. I'm just dealing with my poison ivy, it's so woke, so woke, so woke.
Come on. And this is just incredible to watch. Yeah, every interaction I have with the machine, every interaction I have with the machine, every instruction it's given, every input has to be delayed in about 8 seconds. So here's this weird phenomenon. My wife, keep it up. Every time I open my mouth, you start. So come on, keep it up. You got pieces of the screen frozen all piecemeal. You got pieces of the screen frozen all piecemeal. You're not a hacker. You're going from script to script to script to script to script. Did you figure out what I was doing? Oh, he turned off the alarm, so it's not going to happen. We better do that right now. I wasn't turning on the radio. What was I doing? Dismissing the alarm. Okay, so what's going to happen at the top of the hour? Nothing. Why? Watch all hell break loose. You guys can't see it. I can see it. That's the other thing. See, here we go. I'm going to do absolutely nothing. I'm wasting your time. You're on the internet right now as a child molester. Somebody out there is going to track your ass down. I just got to keep you distracted. Put everything back the way it was. That's right. Because somehow you think I'm going to go by some made-up hacker's ethics code you thought you read somewhere. And then if you put everything back, it'll be okay. No. Oh. Fine, if that's how it is, okay, take it away again. I don't care. I'm not using that fucking set of buttons, am I? So what are you doing?
I'm just dealing with my poison ivy, it's so woke, so woke, so woke. I'm just dealing with my poison ivy, it's so woke.
Do I have to tell them again that we built this shit and designed this shit?
I'm just dealing with my poison ivy, it's so woke, so woke,
6, 7,
so woke. I'm just dealing with my poison ivy, it's so woke, so woke, so woke.
So you broke the controls of the thing, but I can still see the trace. So I don't know what you accomplished. That's it. Keep trying to freeze my face up as my eyes blink. That will show him. His eyes closed will show him. You keep your mouth open, we will close your eyes. Is that what the message is? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, these fucking fruit flies. Yeah, that's the other thing. You're South African, but you play with voodoo. That's how fucking stupid you are. You know those guys don't speak the language you think you speak. Oh, you studied French? Those motherfuckers don't speak French. There's now been 18 minutes. 18 minutes of this. You can keep it up all night long. Remember, if you don't do it on the hour, you're not part of the team effort. You won't go hallucinatory if you don't do it that way, right? Come on. Oh, this is funny. I've got all fucking day. Oh, you broke it. I'll just start the machine over. If it don't start working immediately, I'm just starting the machine over.